provide you kind of a brief overview of kind of what occurred, what's about to happen this morning. Then I'll do the same in French, and then I'll take any questions. Apologize, it's a little windy, a little cold, but on the morning of February 10th, 2022, semi-trailers, farm implements, and passenger vehicles began blocking the Canada-U.S. border at the Emerson port of entry. RCMP officers from Emerson and Morris detachments and Manitoba RCMP divisional liaison officers immediately attended the scene and began to work with the demonstrators to find a peaceful resolution. Through dialogue with the demonstrators, emergency vehicles, including police vehicles, as well as some agriculture transports and other critical goods were allowed through the blockade. Apart from these select vehicles, all 4 lanes of Highway 75 and Provincial Road 243 remained blocked. The number of vehicles taking part in the blockade has fluctuated throughout the past 6 days. At its peak, we estimate approximately 75 vehicles were present. For vehicles that weren't able to get through, RCMP officers diverted traffic to alternate border crossings in Manitoba. As this highway is prone to road closures due to blizzards in the winter and flooding in the spring, our officers are well versed in alternate paths of travel for commercial and passenger vehicles. Throughout the past 6 days, our officers continued to use open communication and a measured and tempered response. This continuous dialogue between our officers and the demonstrators enabled us to reach a resolution yesterday. It is our expectation that at noon today, just over an hour from now, the remaining demonstrators will begin to move out of the area and full access to the Emerson port of entry will be restored. The Manitoba RCMP will be coordinating and escorting the remaining vehicles out of this area to ensure a safe and orderly departure. This is for the safety of everyone involved. Officers will remain in the area to ensure that the highway and the border to the United States remains open and accessible to all travelers. We'd like to thank our partners, Canada Border Services Agency and the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, who provided assistance to the Manitoba RCMP throughout the duration of the blockade. Also want to thank our provincial partners as well. Thank you. I'll read the statement in French now. Bonjour, le matin du 10 février 2022, les semi-remorques, des véhicules agricoles et de promenade se sont rassemblés afin de bloquer la circulation de la frontière canado-américaine au poste frontalier d'Emerson, Manitoba. Les policiers des détachements d'Emerson et de Maurice, ainsi qu'un agent de liaison de la GRC du Manitoba, ont immédiatement été dépêchés sur les lieux afin de travailler avec les manifestants pour arriver à une solution pacifique. Grâce au dialogue avec les manifestants, les véhicules d'urgence, dont les véhicules de police, ainsi que certains produits agricoles et d'autres denrées essentielles ont pu traverser le blocus. Mais à l'exception de ces véhicules, la circulation lancée dans les 4 voies de l'autoroute 75 à la hauteur de la route provinciale 243 reste bloqué. Le nombre de véhicules participant au blocus a fluctué au cours des 6 derniers jours. Le plus grand nombre relevé par la GRC est d'environ 75. Pour les véhicules qui ne pouvaient traverser la frontière, les policiers de la GRC ont détourné la circulation en direction d'autres postes frontaliers du Manitoba. Puisque cette autoroute est souvent fermée en raison des blizzards en hiver et des inondations au printemps, nos policiers connaissent bien les voies de contournement de la région pour les véhicules commerciaux et de tourisme. Au cours des 6 derniers jours, nos policiers ont continué à privilégier les communications ouvertes et une approche modérée et prudente. Cette communication continue a permis d'arriver à une solution hier entre les policiers et les manifestants. À midi aujourd'hui, dans 1h30, nous nous attendons à ce que les derniers manifestants commencent à partir et que la circulation soit entièrement rétablie au poste frontalier d'Emerson. La GRC du Manitoba coordonnera le départ des véhicules et les escortera hors du secteur afin d'assurer un processus sécuritaire et ordonné. C'est pour la sécurité de tous. Nos policiers resteront sur place pour s'assurer que l'autoroute et la frontière en direction des États-Unis restent ouvertes et accessibles à tous les voyageurs. Nous tenons à remercier nos partenaires de province, soit l'Agence des services frontaliers du Canada et à la US Customs et Border Protection qui ont apporté leur aide à la GRC du Manitoba durant le blocus afin d'assurer la circulation entre les deux pays à travers d'autres postes frontaliers. Merci. I'll take some questions there now. Well, you have to understand, like they say, being a national issue, we had to take our time. We didn't want to rush in. It would have absolutely made no sense just going in, perhaps making the arrest, issuing tickets. We probably could have had others just take their place. Communication, as you can see, resulted in what we have today. In a short time, this is going to be open. To me, it was the best course of action. We're going to have nobody charged, nothing towed, nobody injured, no arrest. It's a perfect solution.
So what message is that sending to people along the international border for 6 days and no one's charged?
Well, you have to look at, like I say, kind of every situation is unique, it's different. That's the way you have to handle it. If it's something different, sometimes maybe it can be resolved quicker, perhaps with a different outcome. But we felt, like I say, the way the situation was developing here, we needed to take a prudent and safe measure, and here we are today.
What's that part of the agreement? Oh yeah. What's that part of the agreement? There will be no charges. There will be no arrests. You can leave peace.
Yeah, absolutely. That was part of the dialogue and the communication back and forth. They wanted to get their message across, which I believe they have. And we wanted to make sure they understood kind of where we were coming. At some point, like they say, our enforcement might have been needed. But like they say, the machines are running, they're warming up, and in a short time they'll be on their way. We're aware of its passing or it being brought up, but like I say, we had all the equipment, all the personnel needed. We kept going the way we were doing it, and it's worked for us today. And like I said, it's resolved perfectly.
How confident are you that this is the end of the blockade at Emerson, and we may not see it pop up again in a week or two?
Well, there's always situations that could develop. Right now, we'll focus on today. We'll learn from what we had. We obviously have a good dialogue with everyone that's been here, and like I say, we're hoping that, like I say, as of today, this will be open.
Now, with the blockade ended, is there any concerns about additional slow rolls possibly causing issues along 65 like it was previously responsible?
Well, we're not aware of anything at this moment, but like I say, we'll kind of continue with what we're doing. If something develops, we'll communicate and we'll go from there. Dire que c'est vraiment facile pour rentrer vraiment vite, pour faire des arrestations, mais ça va juste finir le problème? Non. On a trouvé que avoir un dialogue, ça marche, ça a pris du temps. On veut que tout le monde a la patience. Puis on peut voir, comme je dis, ça a pris 6 jours, mais aujourd'hui, ça va tout partir, puis on va être ouvert. On avait des choix, mais on a continué à faire ce qu'on a fait depuis le début jeudi passé. On a parlé avec les manifestants, puis aujourd'hui, on a décidé que c'est le temps de partir. Je pense que le message était reçu, et c'est le temps de partir. Non, rien changé. Pour nous autres, ça n'a rien changé. On avait tous les personnels qu'on avait besoin, puis c'était facile pour nous autres de continuer de faire ce que nous voulons faire ici. la station, il y a d'autres personnes qui vont juste prendre la place. Ça, c'est toutes les choses que faut que tu remarques autour du sujet. C'est quoi la façon de manière d'avoir une solution que c'est bon pour tout le monde.
My apologies, Paul.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is there ever a fear of violence or weapons here, similar to what we've seen in the past?
Well, you have to take that into consideration. There's been no information to suggest that was a possibility, but it's part of our planning. It's part of contingencies. If we're to develop, we have to address it. We have to be prepared for it.
Sorry, Paul. I came running in late here. Tell me a bit about the negotiations over the past week that led to this blockade deciding to leave here.
Well, we basically had, every day we've had negotiators here from our team, basically having that dialogue open. At times there would have been discussions, at times it would have been quiet, but the idea was to keep the communication back and forth related to what we wanted, to how it was going to advance, and obviously on their side what they wanted. So, like I say, we kept that dialogue open, and the outcome is what we wanted. No one got hurt. We have a highway that's going to open and trade can resume at this point.
And no arrests, no fines.
Ben, c'est cette possibilité, mais on va être des agents de police du Emerson puis Maurice qui vont rester ici, juste pour faire certain que tout reste ouvert. Go ahead.
Sorry, there were no arrests, no fines.
Right now, no. Right now, we have no one arrested, nothing seized. They're moving all their equipment as they stated, so they've kept their end of the bargain. And right now, like I said, we're doing our part, and hopefully within a few hours, this will be open highway.
And the plan is to escort the convoy away?
Yeah, they're going to be headed northbound towards Highway 14 and then headed westbound from there. No, they'll be headed north on 75 up to, I believe, 14, where they'll head west. Any other questions? Everyone? Okay, thank you very much.